7 years ago, yeah, maybe 10 years ago even, when we did an endless summer benefit concert, you know. So I saw him there, and it's like just an older version of himself, but still doing the same thing. And so when we left, Sylvia says, you know, this should be documented. You know, just these guys just working.
But that craftsmanship hasn't changed in 40 years. So as you saw when you went down and saw Danny doing it again, and that's, I mean, that never gets played up enough. If guys building surfboards, nobody actually ever shows it. The work that's involved from the shaping, the laminating, the mixing of the resins, the pouring, airbrushing, the color work. I mean, it's still really neat to see how a surfboard's built. And most people don't understand how many man hours are involved in the building of a surfboard. And just in the, you know, watching the boards being made, while the discussions of over the years, how that part of it's evolved. I mean, I think that's going to be neat. And those are the, you know, when you first came to me, it was the unsung heroes.
Well, the shaping was, guys were making pretty good money shaping, and also the shaping of a surfboard is the creative part. That's the part, you know, the sander is never a famous sander. The shaper is the guy that makes the board and makes it ride a certain way. So naturally, if you're in the business, you would like to imagine that you could be a shaper, a creator, and, you know, it's kind of an artistic engineering process that you go through.
It's amazing to watch the guys that have been for 40 years, 50 years building boards the same way, whether they were building it for David Nueva and Phil Edwards, or whether they're building it for Slater and Machado. You know, so that's what's interesting, is the athletes have changed, the shape of the equipment has changed, but the construction process and the guys that build it are the same guys for the last 40 years.
The people have embraced surfing and who almost need surfing as a means of balancing out their lives and finding the horizon of life, if you will, or the meaningful aspects and the balance. Being out in the ocean, on the beach, and with these people are kind of reclaiming their lives. They've given up to be CEOs of huge companies and working really long hours and so on. And so now all of a sudden you've got these people who, in fact, validate the thought of the idea of this documentary film.
And he's in there when it gets handed off, and you get to watch him ride a wave or two. But you spend the whole process of the birth of his board, I think, is more, that's what it's about. It's about his equipment, not him. Yeah. I mean, that's what I want to see. I mean,
that's the deal. And the personalities of these people. That's because
that's where they are too.
You know, that's so important to me, because a personal story is so, and to be privileged to sit in a theater or in your home and listen to somebody's story that's instrumental in creating such a huge industry and contributing to a sport.
I watched and watched, and finally I got got Jacobs to order some reject blanks, cut them in half, and made belly boards out of them. I was a salesman still, so I knew I could sell them. So when I sold one, I'd get $5 for shaping it. So scored $5. But I did learn, that's how I learned to use all the tools and the different techniques.
I really feel that it's not just going to be documentary, but I'm really hoping that as far as the camera work, the way we're going to do this, it's going to be an artistic project, which is going to pull also some of the music, contemporary feel for it with Max. We'll bring in some of our old stuff and new stuff, as well as the sandals. But I think we've got really the potential for making something quite artistic and informative at the same time. So it's in that light that I'd like to go into it, because we just don't want just another DVD on a shelf in a surf shop that is going to kind of say the same thing. I just would like it to be presented really in a fresh way. And that is where this team's going to be effective. And I'm going to challenge you guys to be able to approach it that way.